Who is a celebrity you want to sleep with but would be embarrassed to tell people about? Colin Mockery. I had a sex dream about John Lithgow last night. I was embarrassed to tell people though. I was just very confused. I told my sister about it immediately. Edited to add. Wow. Way more people saw this than I thought would. For the record, I was less embarrassed that it was John Lithgow and more embarrassed by the sheer filthiness of my own subconscious dream. Lithgow was 10 out of 10 at sex. If you ever have a John Lithgow sex dream, I hope it is as fulfilling as mine. He would have been way too old for me, but Christopher Lee. That voice, and if he role-played as Saruman. Alan Alda. In the 70s or in his 70s. He's still doing it for me. This comment section is not nearly as cursed as I expected. Also, this would make a great guessing game in the right sub. Noel Fielding. When I saw him on Taskmaster dressed in his pointy little witch boots playing soccer with an unreasonable amount of skill, it made me feel things. You get $100 million, but you must make one species extinct. What do? Bot fly. Human head lice. Ask for $1 billion and submit a top 10 list. Bedbugs can fuck off and die. Bedbugs. Make tapeworms go extinct. Liberals of Reddit, what is your most conservative opinion? Canceling people for things they tweeted years ago is dumb as fuck. Trigger warnings have gone too far. I understand the normal ones like sexual assault warnings, but there was a class where we could anonymously write down our trigger warnings and we weren't supposed to use those topics without the warning. Here's the thing. You often have to say the trigger to do the trigger warning. But the shit got stupid. In wasn't allowed to say words like starving, as in, I'm ready for lunch. I'm starving, because it could apparently trigger those with an eating disorder. Someone wrote butterflies. Another wrote crocodiles. A trigger warning for the word drug abuse. Someone requested trigger warning for Elizabeth Olsen. We weren't allowed to clap at some performances because it could be too loud for some people. Trigger warning for just so many things that just wouldn't ever be brought up, or at least would be unlikely. Then there are some triggers where it's like, how do you function if you're that triggered by the word starvation or any other normally used word? Then that's something that needs to be addressed with a counselor. Just because you disagree with someone doesn't mean they need to be destroyed or cancelled. Not a liberal. Full-blown leftist. I do not give a fuck about you being triggered by things that the vast majority of society finds to be innocuous. I won't go out of my way to shove your face in it or be a dick about it. But your personal problems and traumas are yours to deal with 95% of the time. Not mine. I can understand not wanting to contribute taxes to a government that uses the funds inefficiently and against the interests of the people. CNN sucks. What is the most overrated song of all time? Whatever song keeps playing on loop at your workplace. Happy birthday. Seeing all these comments makes me question my taste in music. Fight song edit by Rachel Platten, not Marilyn Law. Anything Maroon 5 after songs about Jane. Dance Monkey Tones and I pretty big in Australia. So tired of hearing that F*** King song. Conservatives of Reddit, what is your most liberal opinion? I want better healthcare. People shouldn't go into crippling debt to go to school or get medical treatment. Corporations can be just as inept, corrupt, and dangerous as any government. Regulations are needed. We just can't have government in bed with corporations. Citizens United was an evil ruling. I think it's interesting to me how the media positions liberals and conservatives as these two completely different bodies. Then you come and read these two threads on self-identified liberals and conservatives and there is like 80% overlap. Edit. I wish I was able to respond to everyone's comments. But it's going too fast for me to keep up except for posting meme one-liners. For those who see this edit, take the time to try and understand the values underlying the person opposite you in a discussion. If you can agree on common values and beliefs, it goes a long way. We may disagree on how we accomplish things, but don't let that keep you from agreeing on what we want to do. Corporations have too much power and influence and should be cracked down on. Politicians on both sides of the aisle are completely corrupt and should be removed. There should be an upper age limit to politicians. Gays should be allowed to get married. The environment needs protecting, and the sooner we transition to full nuclear or renewable power, the better. Fuck fossil fuel companies. There should be tons more done for the under 18 population. Free healthcare. Breakfast and lunch paid for at school with the option of a take-home for dinner. Subsidized or free after school and summer programming. Just because the parents struggle to meet ends meet shouldn't mean the kids shouldn't be provided for. God, think about how much better off we would be if we supported kids more. What's an annoying thing people base their entire personality around? TikTok trends. Social media following. Being proud of being an asshole. Having strong opinions without any actual knowledge to back it up. Basing your personality on what you're against, as opposed to what your personality is for. Like, tell me what you love, not what you hate. Personality test results. Myers-Briggs. Enneagram types. Strengths Finder. Using the results of the tests to explain behaviors. Are you an ENTJ or just an asshole? The Grim Reaper comes to your house to take your life. What do you say? As if I'd ever answer someone knocking at my door. You'll never catch me alive. Points behind the Grim Reaper. What's that? Quote. Runs off. I know he'll be caught, but I'd like to go out playing a fun gag. You were supposed to be here at 1. It's 1:45. Not in my house. I know I'm due to die before most people because cancer. But I'm not dying in this house with all my good and loving memories. My husband, my son. I'm not putting that burden of cleanup and trauma on them. I'm going to hospice. Getting an absolutely absurd amount of morphine on board. And then we'll talk. I know telling death how it's gonna be probably isn't the best idea. But I'm adamant about not dying at home. And the worst that could happen is that they kill me anyway. About time. If you had to be a vegan for the rest of your life, what do you think would become your go-to meal? Falafel with hummus in a wrap with salad, onions, tomatoes. Dal and rice. It already is my go-to meal though. I'm never not in the mood for it. Rice and beans. Total comfort food, can adjust seasons to your desired taste. Pretty much every southern Indian meal, where like 95% of that part of the country is either vegetarian or vegan. Baked potatoes. It already is, so it would be hard. Chili or curry. They're my go-to meals now, and they could be veganized if I wanted to. What would the person who named walkie-talkies have named other items? Pooper scooper. Rollerblades would be known as scooty booties. Pretty sure they did. Flip-flops. Stabby grabby fork. Pretty sure they were responsible for tidy whities. There actually is a pork and beans product called Beanie Weenies. Subscribe, my brothers.